Everyone, Dr. Hassaan Tohid here once again with a wonderful session, live session, and just give me a few minutes. As you know, in the live session, I first have to send the invite to everyone who is planning to join. So just be patient with me. Just be patient, and I am now about to share the link. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot for joining. And please do comment when you are here so that I know you are really here. Okay. And do introduce yourself so I can greet you officially. Today we are going to talk about so many things. We are going to talk about the publication process. I know it is complicated for many students, and that's what we are going to discuss today. I want to make sure that you don't feel strange and you don't get scared when dealing with the journals. Hi, Fiba, how are you? Hi, Mafaz, how are you? Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being live. Travis, thanks a lot. And today is the live question answer session, and we are also going to discuss so many things about publishing and publication process. I haven't been able to complete it in last few sessions because there's so much that needs to be discussed. It's not like a topic that can be discussed and finished in one sitting, to be very honest. Hi, Shweta, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Hold on, give me a second, guys. I will greet everyone with names. So just give me a few more seconds. I want to make sure everyone is here with me. And I'm so glad that so many people around the globe are sitting past midnight to attend my session. That's very nice of you, and I'm really grateful. Thank you, guys. Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you, Khushbu. Thanks a lot. Let me see who is here. What is the situation? And are you guys ready with your questions? I know so many of you have questions, and we are going to handle those questions today. Okay, so let me make sure I address everyone with name. So many of you will be thinking, where am I sitting today? So, guys, I'm sitting in my home office today, and it's so cold outside. I wanted to have outdoor session, but it's so cold that I did not have courage to sit outside in that cold. Okay, so Fiba, thank you. Mafaz, Travis, Ahmed Habal, thank you. Rabi, thank you for joining your first session with me today. Thank you. Tejaswi, thanks a lot. Shweta, Mafaz, again. Humera, Shamim, thank you. Humera, Shamim. Chris, thank you. Christian, okay, thank you, Christian. And Chantel White, Esra Muhammad, and Khushbu, and Anna Paula. Thank you for joining, and that's your first session as well. I understand this. Roba, hi Roba, how are you? And Shivani Girini and Anam Zahra, Chaitra Shetty, Chaitra Shetty. Okay, we have everyone here now, and so attending the session in spite of being in different time zones shows the interest of people. Yes, and that's what we need. If you are not serious about your research paper, if you are not serious about your training, nobody can help you. Many people just want to blame, and they want to blame other people, or they want to blame the training, and they say, oh, I did not complete my paper. But responsible people are who don't blame anyone. They take responsibility and they blame themselves for their successes and for their failures. A successful person is who blames himself for his successes and his failures. So a failed person is who always blames somebody else for his failures, and he has no successes. He has no successes because he always blames somebody else. He always sees outside. The problem is outside. So remember, everything starts, the process of publishing, the process of writing, process of becoming successful in your career begins with one single word. What is that word? Responsibility. How responsible are you in your career? How responsible are you in your life? How serious do you take? How serious you are about your career? How serious you are about your life? That's what it is, guys. Remember, if you are, so many people ask this question, what are my chances of becoming published author through this program? The chances are 100%. 100% if you are 100% responsible. It's 90% if you're 90% responsible. So ask your seniors, your friends, family members who are sincere to you, who know you, your teachers, and ask them, what do they feel? Are you a responsible person, or are you an irresponsible person? So if your parents, your teachers, your sincere people in your life have been telling you that you are an irresponsible person, then the chances of your publication are really, really minimal. So the first thing first is to take absolute responsibility of your life. Remember, guys, this phenomena changed my life. I used to blame everyone. I used to blame the system. I used to blame the culture. I used to blame everyone for my failures until I realized that something changed my life. I realized that everything I have attracted by the person I am. Everything you have attracted by the person you have become. Everything that you have right now, you have attracted by the person you have become. If you want to have more, you have to become more, learn more. So remember, there is no luck. There is no luck factor. First of all, this is the biggest misconception that has been inserted into our minds. And so many people firmly believe that XYZ got lucky. No, guys, this is so true. If you understand this, that the harder I work, the luckier I get. Luck comes to those who work hard. Luck comes to those who are responsible. Everything will happen in your favor. Everything will go in your favor. Everything will change. Everything will turn around. And if you are a good person, if you have good intentions, you are a hardworking person. Wow. I just noticed I have bleeding coming out. Somehow I got cut. Okay, anyways. So the thing is, guys, that we need to understand this, that we design our own life. So if you don't complete your paper, you are responsible. How, under the same circumstances, with the same course, with the same training, some people become published authors while some don't? Why does that happen? Those people who become published author through this program, they think that this program changed their life. They feel that this program made them something they were not before, and they learn and they became published author. Why did that happen? Because they were responsible. They were taking responsibility of their life. They were taking responsibility of their paper. So are you taking 100% responsibility? As I told you, that I used to blame the system, I used to blame the university, I used to blame every other thing for my bad grades when I was in my medical school, when I was a student. And I did not know that this is not correct. And we have learned this, to shift the blame so that we Nobody says anything to us that, oh, you have damaged yourself, or you have destroyed your life, or you have destroyed your career. We want to run away from reality. So we blame somebody. We want to shift the blame so that we feel better. Oh, at least, oh, I said, okay, this is the system's fault. This is not my fault. So we give excuses. We give excuses. But successful people, they don't give excuses. They take absolute responsibility. Remember, many people say that when my life will be ideal, then my success will come, then I will be successful. But remember, guys, there are no ideal conditions. There are no ideal conditions in life. Ideal conditions and ideal circumstances don't exist. We all have problems. We all have family issues. Anyone here can claim that he does not have, or she does not have, family issues? Anyone here can claim that he has 100% perfect life going on right now? No. So remember, people who become successful, they don't have perfect life. People who become successful, who complete their papers, they do it despite having difficulties. That's why success is difficult, that only few people become successful despite having difficulties. Majority blames the circumstances. And people say that when my situations will be ideal, then I will be successful. I have seen so many students, they say, oh, I had so many problems, I couldn't complete my paper. When my situations are better, then I will publish my paper. That time will never come. You will never, ever be able to publish your paper if you have this kind of attitude. So everything comes from the mindset, the attitude. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your attitude that we are responsible for our life. Everything we have attracted by the person we have become. You are the painter of your life. You draw it with your own hands. So your research article, your future, your career is like a painting. You need to draw that painting with your own hands. Instead of blaming others. Have you ever seen a painter blaming somebody that, oh, I did not complete this painting, oh, I did not draw this painting because I had family issues? They do it regardless. Same thing with your life. Your life is like a painting and the brush is in your hands. Go do it. Who is stopping you? Yes, there will be some lack of electricity. It is possible. Some wind coming up. Maybe you get sick a little bit in between. And maybe there is a lot of noise outside when you're drawing your painting. I'm saying metaphorically that when, now let's take a real example, then take a metaphorical example. Let's say when Picasso was drawing or completing his painting, he had a lot of noise outside. He had wind coming up. There was winter and there was summer as well. He may not have electricity. He may have had health problems. He may have had family problems. He may have had so many other issues and problems, but he still completed his painting. Same thing with us, that our life is our painting and we have to draw that painting, our future. What is the future like? What kind of future do you want? You want a great life, a great house, a wonderful car, a wonderful career. You are working in a hospital, you have residency done, and you are now applying for fellowship. And you, after fellowship, are making a lot of money and you have no financial troubles, you have no financial problems, you have mental peace. And the most important thing is the satisfaction that you get by treating and helping people. So imagine you have to draw that thing and the painting brush is in your hands. Now, if that doesn't happen, who is responsible? You are responsible. That means you were not serious enough. You were not serious enough. You need training, you need coaching. For USMLEs, if it's not working out, you have messed up in your exam, get a tutor and get some coaching for the step 2 so that you know where you are lacking, what mistakes you are doing. We all need coach, we all need training, we all need somebody to put or keep us on track. I have coach, I have a health coach, and I take coaching for my life and career. I still take coaching courses and I keep studying, and I have coaches. I learn from them. I read the books of coaches. I learn from them as much as possible. And nobody in this world has ever become successful alone. You need people, you need support. And we are here, your coaches. And as Tony Robbins, the greatest coach of the world, says, that every coach needs a coach. So you will never ever be able to say that, oh, I don't need any support, I don't need any coach. Yes, you do. You need a health coach, you need a life coach. These are the must requirements. You will be able to do that in the future, when you will be able to afford that, when you become successful doctors. But for now, at least, you need a coach for USMLEs, you need coach for research, you need coach for research writing and publishing, you need coaching for interviews, and you need to get into your residency. The decision is in your own hands. Do you want to complete this painting of your life? Do you want that? The decision is in your hands. Just write it down and go get it. You just need to make sure that you have US clinical experience, at least 6 months. You need to make sure you have enough publications, minimum 5 publications, I would recommend. Minimum 5 publications, I would highly recommend. Minimum 5 publications before you apply for the match. And you should have great scores, 250 plus. 250 plus. How do you get it? You need to have a coach. If you don't, if you are a very good student, I suggest you still get a coach. But if you don't have it and you cannot afford it, then be 100% focused and schedule, and set somebody as accountability partner in your family, your parents or your siblings, who will be your coach, and they will make sure that you are disciplined, and they will wake you up from your bed at 9 a.m. in the morning, that, hey, it's too late, why are you 9 a.m. This 9 a.m., why are you still in bed? You should have been up at 7. You should have been up at 6. Why are you still here? Guys, after why are you sleeping till 9 a.m.? 9 a.m. is, to be very honest, for successful people, 9 a.m. is afternoon. 9 a.m. is afternoon for me. It used to be morning for me. My morning used to start in my student life. My morning used to start 10 a.m., 11 a.m. That lazy I was. But then I learned that no, successful people wake up between 5 to 7 a.m. So I started to wake up early. 9 a.m. is way too late. So you got to wake up as early as possible, because you need to have at least 1 hour to get fresh and have breakfast and everything. So if you wake up at 7, then by 8:30 you will be all set to study and to work on your paper and to work on your USMLEs if you're taking any exams. And then full time, like a full-time job, you study 8 hours straight non-stop with just one break in between. No sound, no noise, no distraction, no cell phone. 8 hours straight, full focus. No other thought should come to your mind. If other thoughts are coming to your mind, then your mind has been messed up. You need meditation. You need some training again. You need to get back on track. And it can happen to anyone. Sometimes my mind also goes here and there, but I have to then listen to some lectures and bring my mind back on track. So that's being human. We all do lose track sometimes. That's why we have those motivational videos and books and so many other things. So guys, this is very important. You need to understand. Okay, and by the way, hold on. For US residency candidates, I don't know if you are have you guys seen my book? Give me a second. Have you guys seen my book? This is a book for international medical graduates who are applying for the US residency. And we have covered everything in this book. Everything possible is by the Springer publisher, one of the best publishers in the world. And I was the senior editor, as you can see. And it's an honor and prestige to be an editor of a book by Springer, who the book that has authors who have been residency directors and assistant directors and so many other statuses they have, lead chief psychiatrist, so many other people worked in this book as a team. So it was an honor to have great people with us in this book. So the reason I'm showing you this is that you need to learn more about US residency, how to get into it. So need to read about it. I'm not saying that you should buy this book. What I'm saying is learn how to get into residency, how to be serious. If you can afford it, go and buy the book. If you cannot, Just read as much as you can on internet about how to match, how to get into residency, how to pass interviews, how to go about the steps, everything. Okay, you already got the book. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, guys, that if you are serious about your life, your career, you cannot remain without learning. Everyone will tell you different story, everyone will tell you different things, every person will tell you different information about how to match, and people who haven't will tell you all the reasons why you cannot match, and people who did match, they will tell you all the reasons why you can. So talk to people who have matched and read the correct information from correct sources about how to match, how to apply, how to get into residency in the US, and what do you need to do. So you need US clinical experience, you need publications, you need great scores, and you're all set. And to improve your CV, get as many certificate courses as you can. That's why in this course, in Be a Published Author program, we have given you certificate courses as a gift. Do you know that? How many of you know this? That we have given you so many certificate courses free of cost on your app, so that you can have more and more certificate courses. So please, guys, complete those courses so that you get certification and you mention that on your CV. And when the residency directors, the HR department of the hospital residency program, they see your CV, they will see, oh, what an amazing candidate. How many courses this person has completed. This is a person who grows, who learns. So this is very important, guys. Take your life seriously. You need to have bigger CV than everyone else, than majority of the candidates. You need to have a better and bigger CV than most of the candidates. If an average candidate who matches has 4 publications, you should have 5 publications minimum. Minimum. Maximum as many as you can. If a person who matches has a score of 240 plus, you should target 250. If a person who matches has 6 months of US clinical experience, you get 7 months of clinical experience. It's that simple. Simple mathematics. If a person who matches has only 1 or 2 certificate courses, you get 4 or 5 certificate courses. But we have given you like 12 certificate courses. And you also have now statistics course running with this program. Every other Friday, you will have statistics class. And once you complete it, you get the certificate. You know that, right? And all of you will get the certificate. So if you don't get it by next week, do let me know. Okay, we will make sure that you get it. But you have completed, you have qualified for the certificate. Anyone who has attended both classes can now freely mention that on their CV that they completed the CIBNP course for statistics for research. See, that's how you increase your market value. You add more and more things on your CV and add more and more publications. So how will that happen? Only you can do it. Nobody else will come and help you and do that for you. Remember, the bad news is no Superman is coming. I have said that before and I'll mention that once again. No Superman is coming to help and rescue you, to make you successful. Only you can make yourself successful. So take responsibility and start working on your paper, guys. Without publication, you are putting your chances at risk. Don't risk your residency by not completing your paper. Try to understand this. This is a serious issue. And if systematic review is too tough for you, then just write a traditional review. A publication matters in the end. Publication is not a joke. So if systematic review is difficult for you, then go with a traditional review, for God's sake. Systematic review works a lot, but that's true. But I have seen so many people stuck with systematic review, and because it was tough, they gave up and they did not complete their paper and they had 0 publication. And I had been telling them that please, if it's tough, then go with a traditional review, but they did not listen to me. And then in the end, they had no first author paper, because the real decider is your first author paper. The real decider is your first author paper. Very few people understand this. that the real game changer that will give you the residency interviews and help you get into residency is your first author paper. So don't think that you can be benefited by having your name in your classmates' papers. The value of those papers is very slim. You need to have at least one or two first author papers before you apply for match. Because if you at least have one paper, then your other papers, the doubt on your other papers diminishes. It goes away. It dwindles away because it's understood that, oh, he or she has a first author paper, so that means he or she knows how to write. So the second, third, fourth author papers, that means she really did contribute. She did not get it as a free lunch. But if you only have second author, third author, fourth author papers because of your classmates and no first author paper, you know what you're telling them? That you just got your name for free in some publications. And they are not fools. They know that residency directors are very smart. So that's why if you do not complete your first author paper, you're putting your chances of residency at risk. So remember, finishing and getting a publication is extremely important. And if systematic review is tough, go with a traditional review, convert it into traditional review and finish it fast as soon as possible. And as I told you, it's 100% publication. After what you will learn in this training, I'm telling you, if you follow what I'm telling you, it's 100% publication. Remember, I have said that before and I'll repeat that again. And I can argue this on this with hundreds of scientists. If anyone has a problem and disagrees with me, come and I'll prove you wrong 1,000 times. That some people say that, oh, even if I complete my paper, there is no guarantee that it will be published. No, most people don't get a publication because they never completed their papers. A complete paper is a published paper if you are determined and you don't give up. You complete it, sooner or later it has to be published. We just don't know where it will be published. That's the point. People say that, no, I have completed my paper and it will not be published. There's no guarantee. No, there is no guarantee that where will it get published, but will it be published or not? It will definitely get published sooner or later. So just complete it so that you become a published author. You just have to complete it. And you guys have done it before. You guys have written essays in your life before, right? When you were in your high school, when you were in your 12th grade, 11th grade, 9th and 8th grade, did you write essays? Did you write essays in your final examination? Did you ever get a surprise test writing an essay, that you are sitting in an examination hall and a question appears that please write an essay on XYZ topic, and you were not prepared for that topic and you suddenly started writing that topic and you wrote a story and you wrote that essay down? Did that happen with you? It happened so many times with me, that I prepared for other essays, and when I went to the final examination room, I saw the question. The question was write an essay on XYZ topic, and I did not prepare for that topic. So how did I do that? I still finished it. I completed my rest of the paper first, and then I came in last 20-25 minutes, I came to the essay part and I created a story in my mind of my last day at school or my first day at school, or one of the most memorable days of my life, something like that. Those are the topics for essays, right? The responsibilities of a good citizen. All of those are the essays all around the world, most common topics, right? So I created a story and I wrote down the essay, and I noticed that every person was doing the same. So I am sure that you all have gone through this process in your life. Have you ever been in a situation where you did not prepare for a topic to write an essay, but because it was an exam and you had to do it, so you completed it, and surprisingly, you wrote a very good essay? So where did the data come from? Under these circumstances, where did the data come from? The data came from your brain. You created a story out of it, your imagination, your ideas, your brain, your thoughts. That's where the data came from. That's why essay writing is way more difficult than research writing. I'll repeat again. Essay writing is way more difficult than research writing, because in essay writing, you collect data from your memories. You have data in your mind. You collect data from past experiences, absolutely. But in research article, you have data in front of you on your computer screen. You collect data on your own. You have data in front of you. So research article is way more easier than an essay, and you all have done essays. And I'm telling you guys, I have noticed this, that if we have had high school students, 17, 18-year-old students, they completed their papers and they became published authors faster. And the older the people, the lesser they complete their papers. Why? Because during the school times you are habitual of writing, you're habitual of completing your homework, but after your medical school 5 6 years 7 years, when you graduate, you become doctor, you have lost that touch, you have lost that habit of doing homework. So that's why some people don't complete their homework. So remember, you have done it before. Remind to yourself, you have done it before. You have done tougher homeworks than this, you have done tougher essays than this. This research article is nothing. This research article is nothing in comparison to what I have done before. If you have passed USMLEs, this research article is nothing. Just look at the headings: introduction, method, results, discussion, conclusion, right? These are the headings you have to fill out. Now write down the introduction, give a background of the topic. Once you have decided your topic, give a background, give some statistics, story, and then what is the research problem, why it is important, and why, what will you lose if you solve the problem, what will you gain if you don't solve the problem, and then you mention what are you expecting and planning to do in this paper, and this is your introduction is done. So one part is done. Now method and results. If it's a traditional review, remove, throw it away. Method and results, you don't need it. Only discussion section left. And people say, I couldn't complete my discussion section. My goodness, why and how is possible? When you have collected data, each paper that you have collected can become a heading, and you just give a report of what these articles are saying, and then you compare them with each other. That's it. If you are smart enough, you can write discussion section very, very fast. You just bring each study abstract that you have collected. Let's say you have collected 50 papers for your paper. That means now you can have 50 paragraphs in your discussion section. What the study number 1 said, what the study number 2 said, what the study number 3 said, third paragraph, fourth paragraph. Now you see that can you organize them according to headings? If the study, some study is talking about a similar topic, they come under one heading. Male studies, you combine male studies, the studies about Parkinson's disease and smoking association with valproic acid XYZ, for example. So you say, okay, male studies, that's the heading, and you gave all the summary of all male studies, and then you say this is what the comparison of this study suggests. These studies suggest that in men this happens, and then female studies, and then you gave another comparison, and then you compare male and female, and your paper finishes. That's it. If you really are determined, you want to do that, you will do it. The problem is we just want to blame others for our failures, and we have developed barriers in our brain that, oh, research article is so difficult. Guys, you have done difficult jobs than this. You have passed USMLEs, you have passed your medical school exams. They were way more difficult than research papers. People who have done it were not better than you, were not smarter than you. Everyone is equal. People who have completed their papers, who became successful in life, who got into residency, were not better than you, were not smarter than you. This is something you need to understand. Nobody is better than you, nobody is smarter than you. Remind this to yourself. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. If you say that, oh, my background is really bad, oh, I belong to a bad family, oh, I belong to a dysfunctional family, oh, I belong to a poor family, I don't know how will I be successful. No, it doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is where you are going. It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is where you are going. This line changed my life. I thought I will never ever be able to succeed in my life because I had a very tough past and I had a life as an IMG like you guys. So I thought I will never ever be successful in my life. But this line changed my life. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. What matters is where you are going. Imagine you are driver of your life. You are a driver and the car is your life and you have to take it somewhere and you can take it. Yes, there will be some stop signs. There will be some broken roads. There will be some damaged roads. There will be some breakers, but you will eventually get it if you keep driving. How can you give up on your life? How can you give up on your paper? How can you give up on your dreams? That's what I don't understand. How you guys lose hope. It's 100% success, guys. In your life is 100% success because we all are moving, going somewhere. Time is passing, right? If you stay and don't do anything, you will be 1 year older, whether you like it or not. We all are moving towards the end, the death. We all are moving towards the end, the death. It has to happen. So we are all in our cars driving. We have to go somewhere. But the successful person is who goes where he wanted to go. He does not leave his car on autopilot. That's it. Just take charge of your life, take responsibility, and your paper will be completed. Say, I am 100% responsible for my career. I'm 100% responsible for my paper. For my publication, I'm 1000% responsible. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for my career. I'm responsible for my finances. I'm responsible for my family life. I'm responsible for my happiness. You are responsible. You are responsible. Stop blaming and you will see your paper will be completed and you will be successful and you will be able to match. You all can match. All of you who are present here listening to me, you can be in top candidates, top 100 candidates for residency. And there are thousands of residency candidates each year. 30,000 plus candidates apply for residency, right? So you can be in top 50, top 100 candidates if you develop the mindset of being responsible. Only if you take responsibility of their life. So the moment you decide I'm 100% responsible, you're already in top 100 people who will match. And what if you don't match? Is your life over? No. You can try again for next year's residency and watch the lecture, the course I have given to you, the career options that you can have, and follow it. That you settle your career, make some money, and save enough money so you can apply next year again. Keep improving yourself and you will match. And maybe in a few years you realize that no, I don't want to do residency. I don't want to do residency. I'm so happy without it. So take responsibility of your life, your career, your paper. Don't start blaming anyone else. The moment you blame, you will not be able to succeed in your life. I can write it down for you. But if the moment you take absolute responsibility, guys, I don't take 100% responsibility of my life. You know that? I take 1000% responsibility. I say that and remind to myself that I am 1000% responsible for my life. In fact, the great success trainer, motivational speaker, one of the greatest of last century, and he's still alive, Brian Tracy, he says that if we all start taking responsibility, the psychiatrists, psychologists, and mental health clinicians will all be out of business because we will have no problems in life. We will be the healthiest people in terms of mindset. So we are responsible to create our own life, to create our own destiny, to create our own future. So your paper is in your hands. Just complete it. The moment you complete it, it's going to get published. Now, how? Okay, let me take out my notes that I had written some points for you. So if you want to publish your paper, definitely want to publish, and you want to publish in a top quality journal. So remember, set a goal that as if you are writing and publishing in the topmost journal, New England Journal of Medicine. So look at the papers that are published in New England Journal of Medicine, Lancet, JAMA, Nature, the big names. Look at their papers and look at the headings. Look at the subheadings. Look at how big the paper was, how many tables and figures they used. Just emulate the structure and you say, I will make sure my paper looks like this. So imagine if your paper looks like that paper and if the paper is of that quality that was published in New England Journal or Lancet or JAMA or Nature or any such huge journal of Cancer Journal for Clinicians, the biggest impact factor in the world. If you look at their papers, freely available, there are so many papers that you can find of each journal available for free. So once you look at those papers, you just emulate the structure. Make sure your paper looks like their paper. Your paper has almost equal number of words as their paper. Your paper also uses a similar vocabulary than that paper. See how long was each sentence. Did they discuss one point in each sentence or did they discuss 2 points in each sentence? What kind of vocabulary did they use? What kind of headings did they use? What kind of tables and figures they draw or they have drawn or they drew? Just look at the papers. The biggest problem is we want to create a painting like Picasso and we don't want to see what Picasso drew. So now imagine if you write a paper of that quality, imagine, do you think any ordinary journal will be able to reject it? How on earth can they reject it? Are you giving your 100% focus and attention to your paper? Only then you will be able to create a paper that will look like as if it is a paper by New England Journal or a paper by Lancet or paper by Nature. That's what I'm talking about. Can you all do that? Say, yes, I can do it. Break the barrier. Say, I can do it. And you know, when we say, yes, I can do it, our subconscious mind says, oh, no. So keep saying it again. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And you'll start feeling better and your mind will start to believe I can do it. People who have done it were not smarter than you, were not better than you. In fact, some people who wrote those papers were younger than you. They had worse circumstances than you can imagine. The biggest excuse people give, oh, I have COVID nowadays. Oh, my family has COVID. That's why I'm not able to complete my paper. I'm not able to do that. Guys, we had students who became published author despite having COVID and the worst COVID. Omicron is nothing. When COVID started, that kind of COVID, our students had that kind of COVID, the worst COVID. And we have a student who is a cancer survivor. Yet the student completed the paper, and not only that, the student matched into a great residency program. And you say that you have problems? Do you have more problems than a cancer patient? Just giving excuses of your failures? Remember, people who become successful, they do it under the same circumstances. And under the same circumstances, the failure becomes a failure. Everyone has similar problems in life. Some people have more problems. Successful people, they probably have more problems in their lives. They decide to fight those problems. So now do what else? Choose a systematic review or meta-analysis if you want to publish in a top-tier journal. But so the chances of publication are way higher, and ordinary journals will easily publish it. But even if it's a traditional review, if you don't have time, go with a traditional review. And if you don't have time, go and write a traditional review. You can still publish it. But look at the traditional reviews published in the top tier journals and see how those papers look like. And Medline and mesh strategy. Use Medline while data search, and always use mesh and regular keywords together. Mesh and regular keywords together. Develop your search strategy. Go to advanced search. Don't skip it. People who skip and forget about mesh search will not be able to publish their systematic review. If you are writing a traditional review, you are lucky. You don't need mesh. But if you're writing a systematic review or meta-analysis, mesh strategy is a very important requirement. You will not be able to publish it without it. And advanced search. Make sure you use advanced search. Not a single step of a systematic review should be skipped if you want to make sure your paper definitely gets published. What are the steps? Data search, selecting 5 databases minimum, doing the screening number 1 and doing the screening number 2. People forget about this, that there are 2 screenings. Can anyone tell me what are the screening number 1 and screening number 2? Have you memorized it on your fingertips? Have you memorized the steps on your fingertips? You should memorize it. If I ask you how to write a systematic review, you should memorize it. That there are 3 phases or 3 stages. Phase 1 is the planning phase. Once I'm done with topic selection and inclusion exclusion criteria and Prospero registration, if I do it, if I don't do it, either way. Now I come to the phase 2, and phase 2 is the real systematic review. So how do I begin? I begin with data search. I select 5 databases, then one by one I move to each database and I use my keywords and collect data. But for PubMed, Medline, I use mesh strategy. And once I am done with that, then advanced search. Then once that is done, then I go with the duplicate removal. People skip this part. Remove the duplicates. You can do it manually, or you can do it through electronic data, the reference manager software like EndNote, Mendeley's, Otero, Zotero, whatever is the pronunciation for you. Now, once that is done, the next thing is screening. Screening number 1 is the title abstract. And it will be done by minimum 2 people. The biggest mistake people do is that only one person does the screening and they mention it in their paper. You gotta make sure 2 people screen it, and you mention it in your paper that minimum 2 authors screen the title and the abstract. And the more the better. If you say 3 people did it, it will increase the strength of your search. You will impress the journals more. What's next? What's next? Screening number 2. What is screening number 2, guys? Who will tell me? What is the second screening? Who will tell me what is the second screening? Nobody? I know new students tell me, but at least old students who are here can tell me what is the second screening. Second screening is the full text. You screen the full text. Again, 2 people will do it. Then when that is done, then you do the quality appraisal. Remember, if you leave your quality appraisal, you did not do quality test, quality check. That's not a systematic review. Simply a traditional review or scoping review. Problem is the concept. People don't have the concept of systematic review and traditional review, and that's why they mix it. I saw papers a few days back by a student. He mentioned it's a scoping review, but it was not a scoping review. I don't know how. It was a typical traditional review. So scoping review, traditional review, and meta-analysis, systematic review, they are all different. Do you have the concept? Have you watched my videos? We have given you 170 plus videos on your app. Has everyone gotten the access of the app? Do you all have the videos? Because you must watch those videos. Then quality appraisal. Quality appraisal. If you have chosen the mixed study design, then quality appraisal will need mixed quality appraisal tools. And you will learn that during the training. Then you do data extraction. Data extraction will also be done by 2 people. How do you do data extraction? By downloading a data extraction form, or you can create your own form. The data extraction form is available for free on Google. You can simply download data extraction form. The next thing you cannot afford to miss, Prisma flow diagram. For a systematic review, you cannot forget Prisma flow diagram. For a traditional review, you cannot forget tables and figures. You can still bring some flow charts. Use common sense. The more pictorial your paper, the better it is. Remember my word. The more pictorial your paper, the better the chances of publication. So bring more tables and figures. Then once your paper is written, make sure you run it on software to make sure there are no grammatical or spelling errors. And if possible, go with the editing service. We do have the editing service for you. If you have some lack of confidence in your English, then we have the editing facility. If your paper has become statistical, if it's a meta-analysis, make sure you sit with the statistician, and of course your mentor will be there for you if you are writing a meta-analysis, and make sure everything is correctly done. Double check it, let the statistician check it, and then move forward. Now when you choose a journal, choose top list of 20 journals possible, not the top, the 20 journals possible that you will like to target. 20 is a big number. So what do you do? What do you do now? You make sure you read the author guidelines of the journal that you are submitting your paper to. So if journal number 1 is your first journal that you want to submit, so make sure your paper follows the author guidelines absolutely 100%. So you need absolute focus while doing it. People don't focus. Reference style. Reference style is accurate. Make sure your referencing style is accurate. And then submit a cover letter, a very wonderful cover letter. And I have given you the ebook on how to write the cover letter on your app. Download it, read it. Remember, you must read the lecture notes, ebooks, exercise book that has been given to you, complete the exercise book, and also do the complete the videos that I have given to you. And later on, you can complete the extra courses that we have given to you. Take the full advantage of this course, guys. Justify your admission. If you do that, your whole life will change. This course can change your whole life. Nobody else will teach you these things what we are teaching you. Nobody will teach you these life-changing lessons that I'm teaching you. People themselves don't know this, unfortunately. Then, once your first draft, means first paper is completed, the first time you have done it, remember one more thing. Rule of 10, that's my rule. Rewrite your paper 10 times and then send it for editing, or at least 7 times. And if you really have no time at all, then at least 3 times. Write and rewrite your paper 3 times, write on top of it, and then send it for editing, professional editing. And I mentioned that before, and I'll do that again, that if you have any other language as your main language, as your first language, then write your paper in English first, then translate it in your own language, translate it in Hindi, write it down in Hindi. Then, now don't look at the paper that was written before. Now translate from this Hindi to English. And this time when you write it down, this will be an amazing paper. And then now send it for editing. That's a very good secret I'm telling you for rest of your life. You have an advantage if you know 2 languages. English, Spanish, then translate that Spanish into English. And then you, if you match those 2, the first English and the last English paper, you will be surprised how different they will be. And the more times you can do it, the better your will become. Give absolute focus to your paper, absolute energy. Remember, guys, this paper is going to give you the residency. Take it seriously. Just decide that this is the last paper, as if it's the last paper of your life, or the only opportunity you have to impress the residency director. Give your whole effort to this paper then. The problem is that only so many people listen to these things, but only 10% people take action. We don't know how this happens, but this happens. The reality is only 10% people in this world take action. So I know out of you, only 10% people will listen to me and they will do this, what I'm telling you, unfortunately. So let's see if you are in those 10%. And that's why only 10% people are the topmost in the world. Now, email journals in advance. The journals you have selected, email to them in advance and tell them, this is my paper, this is the abstract. Will you publish it if I send it? Will you consider this? That's a good way to get the rejection in advance. Save your time. Save your time. People waste time, that they submit the paper and then they wait for rejection. Why don't you ask the editor first? If they don't want to publish it, they will let you know. Then you know you have to choose another journal. And then the word count and spellings, make sure everything is correct. Spellings, no spelling error should be there. Run on Grammarly or Turnitin or any such software and see the grammatical errors. And once that is done, also make sure the word count is according to the journal requirement. Paper should be spotless, as if it's the only paper of your life. Of course not. You are going to write so many papers, but every paper you write, consider it as if it is the last opportunity of your life. The problem is the mindset. If you change the mindset, your whole life changes. And that's what I'm working on, making sure not only that you learn the skill, but you change your mindset forever, so that you understand success is possible. Becoming successful in life is possible, absolutely possible. If one person can do it, anyone can do it. Guys, I had ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. So I had that, and I still feel I have it, but I did not let my ADHD come in between my success. And what steps we should consider the journal of choice? I don't know. I don't understand your question. Write it again clearly. Okay, so now once you submit your paper to the first journal, let's say the journal says that, yes, that's good, you can submit it and we can see. Now, if the reviewers come up with some rejections and they reject it, improve your paper. according to the reviewer's rejection complaints, according to the journal's reviewers' complaints, you change your paper accordingly, and you add couple of more points in your paper. And now, before sending it to the second journals, ask the same journal again. Can I resubmit it? I have changed now. I have made major changes. I have modified everything. Change the title a little bit as well, if possible. Can I resubmit it? They will let you know. If they say yes, that's very good. That means you're lucky. You still haven't gone to the second journal. You still have a chance with the same journal again. And see now, possibly this paper will be accepted. Now, if the rejection continues, what do? You improve it again, submit to the second journal. Every journal you submit to, you submit by improving the paper a little bit by adding 1 or 2 extra points. 1 or 2 extra new points. Maybe a new question you add. Change the title a little bit. Heading. Modify the headings to the title a little bit. Now submit it. Never ever submit the same paper without any changes to the next journal. Because follow the rule. The golden rule that I say. The height of insanity, as Albert Einstein said. The height of insanity is repeating the same thing again and again and expecting different results. So if one journal has rejected your paper, possibly there are some weaknesses. So change it, modify it so that you have a different paper now submitted to another journal. Be ready for rejections. Don't get disappointed by rejections. Publishing is a process like applying for jobs. You don't apply to one job. You apply to multiple jobs, right? So you apply to multiple papers, multiple journals, one after another, not at the same time. Unfortunately, the rule is you have to submit your paper to one journal at a time, not two together, not two journals together. You cannot do that. Not allowed. So this is the process of looping that I'm telling you, that before you submit to a new journal, you add more points into your paper and then you submit. And keep changing the headings a little bit, modify a little bit, maybe diagrams a little bit modified, and the main title of the paper, can you make it better? Then you do it again, then you do it again. 4 rejections, 5 rejections, 10th rejection, your whole paper will be whole new and different paper. Can you do that? Absolutely. Have other people done it? Absolutely. If anyone can do it, you can do it. Yes, so Samia, you have a question. Every journal has specifications and requirements. Yes, so when you submit to each journal, you make sure you follow their author guidelines. At what step should we consider the journal of choice? Now I understand your point. Some people do that before writing the paper, but I don't encourage that. I say that decide as if you are writing a paper for New England Journal or Lancet or JAMA or Nature, the topmost journal, right? Or Cancer Journal for clinicians. So just imagine this. But once you have completed your paper, now create a list from the Q2, Q3 list. If you really want fast publication, you really want lesser chances of rejection, then submit to those journals at the list I gave you last week. And see the magic. If you have time, you're not applying for residency this year, maybe try to approach the topmost journal and see what they say. But first, email to the editor and see the response. Email to the journal's editors, 5 or 6 editors, and see what the response is, and whoever shows positive response, submit it. See, maybe you can still publish in the topmost journal. Chances are still slim. For a new student like you, publishing in the topmost journal, the chances are really slim, but everything is possible. So if you have time, you're not applying for residency, I would encourage you to try that. But if you have a deadline, you're applying for this year's residency, don't do that. This is very important. Time is the most important thing. If you are applying for residency this year, don't go with the top tier journals. It can take time. Only do that if they say and show positive response in the email before submitting that, yes, we would like to consider that. Please submit it. Now you have a chance. So are you getting my point, guys? Anyone has any confusion? But I did not say that don't submit to the top tier journal. I said if you're applying this year, go with Q2, Q3, or rapid publishing journals, because you only have 6 months left in the residency match now. Only 6 months left. In 6 months, we will be August 26th. The next thing you got to do, the next thing that you got to do is that if you are applying next year, now you can just email all the top journals, Lancet, New England Journal, JAMA, and email to them and say, can I publish this paper in your journal? This is the abstract, this is the title. Can we do that? If they show positive response, go and do that. They may take time. JAMA is still faster, but they may take time, but it's worth it because you're not applying this year. So it's worth it. But if you're applying for this year's match, then go with Q2, Q3, and the list of the journals I gave you last week. They are rapid publishing journals. And you have the channel option too, rapid publishing in a month or so. So it depends where you stand right now. Are you applying this year's match, or you're not applying for this year's match? You make your strategy according to that. And remember, there's a law of averages that says if you do something often enough, an odd event will happen. So keep submitting your paper to new journals, and one yes has to come, but with improvements. You cannot do that without improvement. If your paper looks the same, no changes, same points as the first rejection, you are going to attract the same rejection. Keep making your paper better, adding 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 points. From your data, you will still be able to find it. Maybe a new question that you raise in the end. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys really liked today's session. I hope it was something inspirational and you learned something. I hope today's session helped you. Anyone has any question before I leave? I'm about to leave, so anyone has any question? If they reject the paper, do they suggest things to change? There are two ways, FIBA. Journals, when they send to the reviewers, they need 3 yeses. If out of 3, 2 say yes, you still have a chance to get a paper published. But if 2 say no, 2 reviewers say no, then you will not be able to publish it. But the journal may give you a new chance. Journal will say, okay, they have rejected, but if they have suggested major changes. So now, can you make major changes what they have suggested and resubmit it? Another way of rejection is they tell you that very good paper, but minor changes needed, then we can reconsider it. And you make minor changes, you resubmit it according to that change. Now, the third option is all 3 reviewers rejected it, and the journal also said, no, we reject it. Don't need to, you don't need to submit it again. So this looks like a slap on your face, like it hurts. So what do? You say that you will say that reviewers rejected my paper. All 3 reviewers did not like it, and the journal did not like it either. They have asked me not to submit it anymore. So you change your paper now, add more points, change the headings, change the title, modify it, change the language, rewrite it. Now approach the journal in a few days. Now this is a modified version of this paper. Would you consider it? Send them an email. They will say, yeah, we can give you a chance, because now this paper doesn't look like the same paper. If they still say, no, we told you, get lost, how dare you approach again? If they say that, let's say, it's okay, go to the next journal. Okay, so I'm submitting my CV this Monday for a research position. Which courses do you think I should definitely do this weekend? Research methodology, short course, case report writing course, traditional review writing course, systematic review writing course, short courses that I have given to you. See how many of them do you have already? Otherwise, you will possibly have to purchase them. The case report you will have to purchase. Okay, doctor, to us there are new to us there are new to us that are new. Doctor, to us that are new, could you send us the okay, the new students, could you send us the access of the course and the app? Yes, absolutely, we'll do that. Don't worry about it. You have a class tomorrow, right? New batch has a class tomorrow. Yes, I did mention that. Watch that video so you have the list. Okay, so anyone has any question? I hope you guys learned something. This was a powerful session. I hope after my session you become a whole new person. You say, yes, I will match, I will take responsibility, I'll change my life. Your life has just begun. The career is not over. Even after, if you don't match, the career is not over. You're bigger than residency. You're bigger than anything else. You're way more valuable. You are way more powerful than you can imagine. Okay, thank you guys. See you then. We'll meet again very soon next week. Have a good day. If you have any questions, send me a text message on WhatsApp. Okay.